Welcome back to the second part of 10th Science 2, chapter number 2, Heredity and Evolution. I am Mrs. Kavita Kavarne from HL High School going to present the second video of this chapter. The chapter is Heredity and Evolution. In this we are going to learn the evolution. Evolution means the gradual change and it is a slow going process. Formation of the new species due to the changes in the specific characters of several generations of living organisms as a response to natural selection is called as a evolution. It is it is said that in the beginning life has not been existing on the earth near about 3.5 million years ago. But when slowly at the beginning simple life started existing on the earth, instead of simple life, simple elements existed in the ocean and that compiled up and give the existence of the life. These simple elements means your carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, they exist in the elements form and they are combining up together and forming the simple organic and inorganic compounds form from them. After a long period of time, these simple compounds, simple organic and inorganic compounds, they compiled up and they started forming the proteins and the nucleic acids from that. That is, they are the complex compounds. They are called as a first living protoplasm for the formation of the cell. It is said that the complex materials they combine together and they are forming the complex substance. In that, the first primitive cell may have been developed from this, and this number of cells they must have compiled up. Number of cells they must have increased due to the surrounding chemicals and the surrounding conditions, and because of that number of cells they started compiling up together and they started forming the complex substance. According to the natural selections given by the Darwin, that the fittest one can survive. So some of the cells which they adjusted with the surrounding, they showed the growth, and some of the cells, those who are not adjusted with the surrounding or the environment, they have perished up. Perished means finished or the end of their life. Now when those cells which are adjusted with their environment, they growed and they showed the lot of varieties. So at present we have the crores of diversity is in plants and animals. We can see the unicellular to multicellular organisms today. Now for this change from primitive till now this diversity, it took near about 300 crores of years for this change. This is the simple scientific theory of the evolution of the organisms from the simple compounds to the multicellular over there. Changes and developments in the living organisms have been all round and multidimensional, and this has led to the evolution of different types of organisms. So this overall process is evolution, which is organizational. Now, progressive development of plants and animals from the ancestors having different structural and functional organization is called as a evolution. Now, we are going to learn about the evidences of evolution. Now, we have to see the evidences of evolution. How it has come up. Why we are saying the evolution it is there. Some proofs are there that we are going to study here. Now the first proof, that is the morphological evidences it is. Morphological means what? It is the outward appearance of the animals over there. It includes the nose, nostrils, ear pinnae and the hair distribution on the body. If you observe the figure alongside, in this the animals, they are showing some similar structures. See their mouth, their ears, their eyes and the hair all over the body. Now, if you will observe the plants, in that their leaves are showing some similarities. They are showing the similarities in their shape, their venation. Venation means what? That is the veins in the leaf. They are in some particular pattern. The venation you have learned in the previous standard also. Parallel and reticulate venations are there. The next evidence we have to learn, that is the anatomical evidences. In this you will see the figure of this bone structure here. If you observe this parts of these animals, they doesn't look like similar to each other, but their uses are also different, and look wise they are different, but they are having the similar structure of bones inside over there. So this similarity in the leaf and the structure of these bones, they shows that they are evolved from the same species over there. Now we will see the next evidences, that is called as the vestigial structures or vestigial organs in our body. The name itself is giving the meaning. Vestigial means of no use to our body. Now these organs when we develop, that time they are present. But if it was not used, they remain as it is in our body. They may degenerated over there. In some animals, they may disappear also, but it took long years to disappear. Appendix, ear pinnae, wisdom teeth, tailbone, they all are the vestigial organs in our body. They need not to do anything with us. Appendix, it is not at all take place in the functioning of our body. Ear pinnae, we are not able to move it. In animals, you saw that they are moving it to just move away the flies away from them. Wisdom teeth, actually it is called just wisdom teeth, but it does not have any connection with our wisdom. Some people say that you got the wisdom, that's why you are having grown the teeth, but actually it is not fact. Next evidences we have to learn, that is the paleontological evidences, that is the study of the fossils of animals and plants. Now from the fossil only we come to know that dinosaur like animals were existing. Actually we didn't see any type of animals till now. From the fossils of the dinosaur only we come to know that they exist on the earth. To measure the age of this type of animals, a system was developed that is called as a carbon dating, which was invented by William Libby. We know we all are made up of carbon. In our body, two types of carbons are there, C14 and C12. C14 is a radioactive and C12 is a non-radioactive carbon in our body. As the plants or animals are dead, the ratio between these two carbons is started changing. They started decaying over there, and this ratio helps in measuring the age of these fossils of plants and animals. By this method, we can just come to know about the ages of the previous animals which have took place on the earth. They are buried under the soil. From their fossils, we come to know their age. In the figure, you can see the structure of the ground level and the fossils found in them. In the lowest one, you will see the invertebrates are there. Next one is the reptiles, and next is the aves and mammals. From this, we can say that which animals have existed first on the earth and how it has progressed over. Now, the next evidence is the connecting links. As the name itself is showing, that is some connection between the two animals it is. Some plants and animals show some morphological characters by which they can relate it to different groups. That's why they are called as a connecting links. Now in the given figure, you can see the duckbill platypus. This animal can lay the egg like the reptiles, and they have the mammary glands and hairs also. So that's why it is a link between the mammals and reptiles. Next one is the peripatus. It is showing the segmented body. It is showing some upper skin on the body over there, and it is having the open circulatory system. It means it doesn't have the blood vessels to carry the blood from one part to the other. It is considered as a connecting link between the Annelida, that is earthworm-like animals, and Arthropoda. Arthropoda is just like a spider or the flies-like animals. So this is a connecting link between the Annelida and Arthropoda. Next evidences is the embryological evidences. In the figure you can see that the different animals embryos are shown over there. In the first, second and third stage, especially in the first stage, embryos are showing the similarities over there. So this similarity shows that all the animals, they must have originated from the common one over there. So all these all animals have having common origin, and that is the evidence. Next, the Charles Robert Darwin, as the picture shows here, he was the biologist and he has put the theory of evolution over there. He said that many living organisms they existed. They are reproducing many in a number. Then the competition exists in among themselves to exist in the surrounding. And because of this competition, they have started developing some changes in their body. All these organisms compete with each other in a life threatening manner. So only those organisms who can sustain, they can adjust with their surrounding by the modifying some changes in their body, they win the competition. Win the competition means what? They are able to survive in the nature. Means nature has selected only those who can those who can fit to live in this environment, and others are perished. Means they are just come ended over there. Means those who can adjust, they can live. Others, they have to die. This is the natural selection of the nature. Some objections regarding the theory that natural selection is not only the factor responsible for evolution. Second one, he didn't explain anything about the useful and useless modification. Also, no explanation about the slow changes and the abrupt changes takes place in the living organisms. Next is the Lamarckism, that is proposed by the Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. He said that the organisms are responsible for their evolution. Their activities are responsible for the organs they are developed or underdeveloped in the body. This morphological changes took place because of the activities or maybe the laziness of the animals. In the figure you can see that the giraffe is struggling for the food. So slowly he has developed a big neck. Then the second example is of the wings of the ostrich, which he has not used, so it remains underdeveloped. Next is the human evolution. In this human evolution, origin of human evolution can be shown by the figure given here. Last dinosaurs disappeared approximately 7 crore years ago. At that time, monkey-like animals were there. They were the ancestors who are just like similar to modern lemurs over there. He said that the slowly these animals, they started reducing their tail, they started standing erect, their brain has developed, their fingers become independent, able to select the things, hold the things firmly, and because of the brain development they started struggling for their life. Now because of the dry environment, they are not getting the trees to stay, so that's why they started staying on the land over. Because to stand on the land, they started standing erect and their tail started disappeared over there. And now we are the human beings which are evolved from this ape-like structures. So they are our ancestors. This is how we have evolved from them. Now in this second part, we have completed the lesson. Evolution, evidences of evolutions, Darwin's theory, Lamarckianism and human evolutions. Hope you all have understood this and you must have enjoyed. Read the lessons and write down the question answers in your textbook. Now wait for the next video of the next chapter.